Hi, my name is Ben Pye. I'm with Shimano Canada. I'm a technical specialist. I've been with the company for going on 10 years now. Started in the customer service department, but always worked on the technical side of things. Did multi-service events, that sort of thing, and have now evolved into doing things like this. With the third generation of the Saint rear derailleur, we've evolved it quite a bit. With the previous version, we introduced something called the shadow style derailleur, which is a derailleur that mounts backwards a bit and more inside, getting it out of harm's way. What we've done is we've evolved it to include a shadow plus clutch in the front pinnacle. And what that is a clutch that's built in here that resists forward movement but doesn't resist rear movement. That definitely manages the chain on the drivetrain, keeps everything quiet, stops a lot of bouncing.
Cool.
The torque setting on this is slightly lower, only because it is a shorter derailleur cage. XT and XTR use a longer cage, so they'd need more torque in the clutch to resist the forward movement.
Okay.
But as far as their functionality, they function the exact same way. Yeah. It is a different clutch in here, different than the XTR and XT versions or the XTR version that we've had in the past. Just because it's a different derailleur, requires a different style of clutch. Mode converter that's mounted on this derailleur right now. These two little screws hold this tiny little piece of black aluminum here. What that does is that gives the derailleur a slightly different mounting angle when it's mounted on the rear derailleur hanger. So with the mode converter installed, it mounts the derailleur a little further back, or kicked back a little further, as if the B tension was really, really tight. And what that does is it pulls it down further out of the way, so it allows you to run cassettes all the way up to about a 34 in there. So basically an all mountain range, or with the mode converter removed, the derailleur kicks forward more, allows you to run a close ratio or road cassette type range. Okay, so major differences between this and the previous version of Saint and with the current XTR one, which resembles quite closely. It actually is the same casting as an XTR one, very similar, or the exact same shape, same material, that sort of thing. Biggest difference is here, slight difference in leverage or oil displacement, because it has to push more oil for a much bigger caliper. Biggest difference, though, is this lever is stamped plate of aluminum as opposed to a cast aluminum lever. And the reason we've done that is so that this will bend easier as opposed to snap in a crash. So if you do crash, you can at least finish your run with a bent lever as opposed to no lever. This, also different from the previous Saint version, is now a hinged clamp, so you can remove it without having to remove grips and all that sort of thing. Also, slight difference between this and the XT. This is cast out of duralumin, the same as the XTR lever, but the XT one is different in the fact that it has a chromed plastic top cap over the top of the reservoir, so a slight difference there. Big differences with the caliper. Same as before, dual pistons, or quad pistons I should say, but big differences here as we now gone with ICE technologies. So we have brake pads with cooling fins built onto them. Difference between these brake pads and previous Saint pads, these ones are longer, so bigger contact surface area with the rotor. And differences between other ICE Tech brake pads that have the cooling fins on them is these have cooling fins on the inside as well. Spring on this isn't directional, isn't left and right specific like the XTR one is. This one, the pads are left and right, but not the spring. And we now use ceramic pistons inside this. Ceramic pistons are used because they're a very good insulator of heat. So when the heat is inside the brake, it doesn't necessarily have to get into the oil. So the oil stays cooler.